Hope you all had a great workout and that you're refueling and rehydrating as we begin today's session. So let's dive in. Today we are covering the letters A, which stands for attainable, the letter R and T of our SMART goals framework, which stands for relevant and time bound. All right, happy Friday, athletes. Hope you all had a great workout and are refueling and rehydrating as we begin today's session. All right, so let's dive in. Today we're covering the letter A of SMART goals. It stands for achievable. So let's go over the main points to know about the letter A, achievable, and SMART goals. Look, we all have aspirations, we all have dreams that we want to accomplish, but sometimes those dreams feel out of reach. The secret often lies in how we define and shape our goals from the start. Understanding what makes a goal achievable is the first step on the path to making it a reality. So, what are the characteristics of a goal that you can actually achieve? Let's break it down. First and foremost, most importantly, achievable goals are realistic and attainable. This means your goal should be grounded in your current reality. Consider the resources you have available, meaning your time, your skills, your energy, and even your finances. A good way to see if your goals are achievable is to ask yourself, given what I have to work with right now, is this goal possible for me to reach? Next, achievable goals are action oriented. It's not enough to simply state a desired outcome. An achievable goal is defined by the steps you take to get there. So think of it as a roadmap. What specific actions are required? What are the individual tasks that I need to complete to achieve my goal? When you have a clear understanding of the actions involved, the goal becomes less of a distance and more of a series of manageable steps. Let's talk about resources. You need to honestly assess if you have the necessary resources to achieve your goal. Ask yourself, do you have the time commitment required? Do you possess the skill sets needed? Or is there a plan to acquire these skill sets? Do you have the support system in place, whether it's from friends, family, or a mentor? Ensuring you have or can assess the right resources is crucial for making your goal achievable. Okay, the fourth characteristic of achievable goals is your goal aligned with your overall personal goals. Your individual goals should not exist in a vacuum. The most powerful and achievable goals are those that fit within your broader personal vision, your education path, your career aspirations. When a goal is relevant to your long term dreams, you'll find motivation and purpose in pursuing them. It feels less like a chore and more like a meaningful step in your life's journey. Finally, achievable goals are largely within your control. While external factors can always play a role, an achievable goal is something you have reasonable amount of influence over. The outcome shouldn't be overwhelmingly dependent on things you cannot control, like the actions of others or unpredictable circumstances. Focus on goals where your effort, your decisions, and your actions are the primary drivers of success. This empowers you and gives you the space to make progress. So, there you have it. Five key characteristics of achievable goals. They are realistic and attainable, action oriented, mindful of the resources required, aligned with your personal goals, and within your control. Okay. So, by keeping these characteristics in mind, as you set sight on what you want to accomplish, you're not just setting a goal, you're building a plan for success. Okay. You're creating a clear path forward, increasing your motivation, and significantly improving your chances of turning your aspirations into achievements. Let's look at some examples of achievable goals. I will increase my deadlift weight by 20 pounds in the next 8 weeks by following a strength training program. I will improve my math grade by one letter grade this semester by attending after school tutoring sessions twice a week. I will read one book on nutrition per month for the next 6 months to enhance my nutritional skills. Let's take the example of the deadlift. We want to be specific. I want to increase my deadlift by 10 pounds. What resources will I need? Well, I'll need to follow a strength training program. What is the timeline? I want to increase the 10 pounds in the next 8 weeks. What steps will I take to achieve it? I'm going to train 3 times a week. We're about to team up and put into practice what we've learned. Here are a few tips for creating achievable goals. Break down larger goals into smaller, more manageable steps. Seek feedback from coaches, mentors, teachers, family members to ensure your goals are realistic and attainable. Track your progress regularly and adjust your actions as necessary to stay on track. By focusing on these tips, you can set goals that are challenging yet attainable that provide a clear path to success. A relevant goal aligns with your values, your priorities, and your long term objectives. It should answer, why is this goal important? For example, I want to improve my nutrition because it supports my energy levels for sports training. The goal that you've been working on, is it relevant to your bigger vision? What does it mean for a goal to be relevant? It means that your goal aligns with your values, your priorities, and your long term objectives. It's not just a random thing that you want to do, it actually matters to you and it fits into your bigger picture. A relevant goal should answer the question, why is this goal important to me? Why does it truly matter in my life right now? Look at the example on the slide. I want to improve my nutrition because it supports my energy levels for sports training. The goal is improving nutrition. The relevance is right there in the because part. It directly supports something important to me, my energy levels for sports training. If the goal was just to eat healthier with no connection to why it matters to me, it may not feel as relevant and it will become harder to stay motivated. So, take a moment to think about the goal that you've been working on. Ask yourself, is it truly relevant to the bigger picture? Or what's important in my life right now? Does it connect to your values or other goals or your overall well being? Making sure your goal is relevant gives it purpose and it helps you stay committed to the things that matter when things get tough. So, how can you make sure that the goal you've set is truly relevant to you? Here are some questions you can ask yourself. Think of these as quick reference checks. Number one, ask yourself, does this goal align with my long term vision? Does it help me move forward and closer to where I see myself in the future, whether that's next year, in 5 years, or down the road? Second, does it fit my current lifestyle and responsibilities and priorities? A goal might be great in theory, but if it requires 20 hours a week and you only have 5 free hours, it may not be relevant right now because it doesn't fit your reality. Relevance also means it's appropriate for your current situation. Third, will achieving this goal provide meaningful benefit? Will reaching this goal actually make a positive difference in my life? Will it help me grow, improve, or feel better in ways that matter to me? So let's look at the example comparison on the slide to really highlight the difference here. Consider this goal. I want to run a marathon because my friend is doing it. While having a friend do something can be motivating, the primary reason here is external. It's based on someone else doing, not necessarily a deep personal desire or connection that I have to the goal. So this goal may not truly be personally relevant to me. Now let's compare the other example to this one. I want to run a marathon to challenge my endurance and improve my fitness. The goal is the same, running a marathon, but the reason is internal and personally meaningful to me. It's about self improvement, pushing my personal limits, and enhancing my own fitness. This goal is more personally relevant. Checking for relevance ensures that your goals are driven by your own motivations and values, making you more likely to stay committed to them and find satisfaction in the process and definitely on the outcomes. Okay, so let's move on to the last letter of the SMARTS goal framework, the letter T, and it stands for time bound. A time bound goal simply means it has a clear deadline. This is crucial because a deadline creates a sense of urgency and it keeps you motivated and focused. A time bound goal answers the question, when will I achieve this goal? Right? So if we look at the example, on the screen. I will reduce my sugar intake by 50% in the next 30 days. I have a clear date by when I want to reduce my sugar intake. All right, let's talk about deadlines for a second. Have you ever set a goal without a deadline? What was the result? Often, what we find is a goal without a deadline tends to drift and we never quite get it accomplished. So, adding a time frame makes your goal real and actionable. Okay, so timeframes can be set in a few ways: short term, mid-term, or long term. Short term goals are usually between 1 and 3 months, right? So these are great for quick wins and seeing immediate progress, which keeps you motivated. Midterm goals fall between the 3 to 12-month range. These are good timeframes for building, for example, consistent habits or developing new skills. Long term goals are typically a year or more away. These are for more bigger transformational goals or significant lifestyle changes, for example. So here's a tip. For those big long term goals, it's really helpful to break them down into smaller short term milestones. This makes big goals feel less overwhelming and allows you to track steady progress along the way. Setting a deadline, whether it's next month or next year, gives your goal a finish line and helps you plan the next steps to get there. Okay, working in teams of three, review your individual goals and ensure that you are one, clear on the goal you want to achieve. Two, identify what you will need to achieve your goal. Three, outline the specific steps you will need to take to reach your goal. Four, discuss your goal with your teammates and get feedback. Five, write how you will track your progress to ensure that you are on track to achieve your goal. Focus on relevance. Look at your goal and ask yourself, why is this goal truly important to me? How does it align with my personal values, my priorities, my bigger vision, right? Discuss within your group and make sure that the goal feels meaningful and there's a connection to what matters the most to you. Make your goal time bound. Set a specific deadline for completion. When exactly do you want to achieve this goal by? Give it a clear end date to create a sense of urgency and to help you create a plan to achieve your goal prior to the deadline. Once each person in the group has made their goals both relevant and time bound, share it with your teammates. Get feedback from them. Does it sound relevant? Is the deadline clear and realistic? Right? I want you to answer those questions. Take about 15 minutes to perform this exercise. Work together, help each other refine your goals, right? And make them truly smart by adding relevance and a deadline. Have fun. All right, athletes. So this concludes today's class. Make sure that you thank your coaches and facilitators for their time. They're all volunteers. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you tomorrow. Have a great rest of the day.